My name is Brett Griffith. I am the CEO of Building Beginnings. This all started when I went through treatment myself, and after I'd graduated, I started teaching classes. And as I was teaching classes, I would notice that a lot of the guys would come in and talk about how they didn't have a safe place to live or couldn't find a job. I've owned a construction company for 15 years, so I decided what I was going to do is I was going to start taking some of these guys to work with me and teach them what I knew. As I seen those guys grow in their recovery, I decided, I need to find a team that can help me expand this, and that's when I had met Ryan Hymas.
I'm Ryan Hymas. I'm the Executive Director of Building Beginnings. Building Beginnings is a nonprofit company that we started to help guys that are in recovery from drugs and alcohol. A
lot of the companies say they don't hire felons, but we've got a lot of these companies to hire felons because they've got to know the guy is who he is today instead of who he was.
This company kind of came about organically. Brett Griffiths and myself started talking about just giving every single guy that's in recovery that actually wants to stay sober, we're going to give them a job. And that's how it started. We went from 4 employees in 8 months to 120 employees, and we'll give a job to every single person that's in recovery that wants to stay sober, work hard, and support the team. The cool thing about what we're doing is we can take a guy, calls us from the Food and Care Coalition. He's homeless, sleeping behind McDonald's. We can give him affordable housing, put him into a house. I give him a job so he can start paying his own rent, and then we give him affordable treatment.
My name's Nick Carroll. I'm 38 years old, from Taylorsville, Utah, and let's see. My background is, this is kind of what I bring. My background was a lot different than these guys, even though my drug use and my criminal activity, they go hand in hand. So I started all that when I was 11 years old, started hanging out with gangs, and and it kind of progressed through that from that time on. And now I'm almost 40, and so I spent 26 years in addiction and hanging with gangs and committing crimes, and that was my lifestyle. So I've done 8 years in prison, and I've been in treatment 20 times. So what has happened is every time I get out of a treatment center or I get out of prison, I come back home and I think, oh, I got the world, in my hand, and I can conquer anything. I have a really positive attitude. I can't get a job because I don't have an employment history. I've got a criminal history that's as big as the Bible.
The whole model is that we go to work together. Nobody has a car, so we get up at 5 and start driving people around. We go pick everybody up. We go to work together in sober groups. We keep each other accountable all day, and we pick them up at the end of the day, take them back to the housing, and then we go to treatment together. And basically what we've created is a family system, just one more support system for recovery.
So I have no type of credit history or anything like that, no work history, just a criminal history. Now this last time I went into treatment, I have a wife and 3 kids, and she wouldn't let me see him anymore because I just wouldn't change. I'd go to treatment and come out and be like, oh, I'm better now, I'm going to change, and things are going to be different. I'm going to get a real job, and I'm going to support the family, and it never changed. But I couldn't get a job, so the only way I could support my family was by getting back into crime and making money illegally. So she finally said enough is enough, and took my kids and left, and that was the hardest thing I ever had to face, was because the only innocence that I had in my life was my kids. Their only thing that brought me joy, or just, that I saw the light in, because I lived in a world of darkness.
I've got a guy that, he was homeless. I put him in my backyard in a camp trailer. And since then, you know, he's bought his own vehicle. You know, he's signed a lease for his own place. A lot of the times is, you know, you get down in these dark ruts, and you just need somebody to kind of hold your hand, you know. And if you give somebody an opportunity, you know, a lot of the guys we have, you know, they take that and it changes their life.
Today I have my kids back in my life. I went to parent-teacher conference a couple weeks ago. My two older kids have both advanced to grade in reading, math, and writing. In the short time that I've been home, I've been back home since October, and they're both just excelling. You know, my youngest daughter, she's only 5. She's in the Head Start program, so she's going to start, instead of going to kindergarten, she's going to go right to first grade.
When moms and wives call me and ask what the best formula for success is, I would say, you know, do everything. Go to residential treatment if you can. If you can't, you know, come go to our intensive outpatient program. Go to work with our guys, live with our guys. You know, go to meetings.
Now I work in administration, so I'm actually the Building Beginnings housing coordinator, and I'm a real asset in that situation because I've lied and manipulated so many times that these new guys want to try and do the same stuff. Well, I've said all those stuff before, so they really can't get over on me, and it really puts makes a positive impact on the guys coming up. Shows them that, hey, you're going to do things the right way, and we're going to be here to support you every step of the way.
One thing we focus a lot on in the company is building relationships. You need to have new friends. The ones you've been hanging out with are not the ones you want, and so we spend a lot of time going out as a group. We throw a company party, you know, every 2 months, you know, just to build the relationships with each other so we can give you a new set of friends.
I'd say it's nearly impossible to get on your feet in early recovery unless you have somebody giving you a hand. And that's what we're trying to do.
I've got a new social circle of friends that, you know, I can call on and I can ask for help, or I can say, hey, I'm struggling, or this is overwhelming me. And they can walk me through it, or they come pick me up and take me to a movie, and where I don't have to resort back to, you know, the negative things that I used to do, and get through stuff.
It gives them a family, because they really do consider each other family in this program. And building homes and replacing and refurnishing homes and redoing it makes them also rebuild their lives. It gives them hope of a better future.
We really like to give back to our community, so we've started a graffiti cleanup to kind of give back to our community that we've torn up.
We didn't really have much of a relationship because he was always gone, or he didn't want to be around, or when he was high.
Well, as part of the problem for a long period of my life, you know, I didn't only just graffiti stuff. I destroyed communities. I raised crime in every city I touched, and I don't say that because I think I'm cute. I'm not proud of that, but you know, today I get to go into police stations and city halls, and I get to meet with mayors and high-ranking police officers, and I get to apologize, and I get to make amends for the destruction I caused. But we've got the graffiti cleanup now, so I get to help rebuild the communities that I once destroyed, and I also get to rebuild relationships with peace officers who put their lives on the lines to protect from people that I used to be.
He has that opportunity to do better. He comes around more. It's like we have our brother back.
For myself personally, I have to work in recovery. I want to have a job where when I show up, my coworkers are going to know within 5 minutes if I'm loaded. Working in recovery is the best thing that I've done for my sobriety and for my family. It makes it so that I'm able to be a dad and play with my kids, and the best thing you can do for your own recovery is to help somebody else.